Hello everyone, and welcome to the Dice Commando YouTube channel. I'm Andrew, with you here as always. This is Go Again, a fabulous video cast covering the trading card game Flesh and Blood. This video and others like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. Please show your support with a like and subscribe, and be sure to hit the bell notification icon so you don't miss any new videos. If you want to get involved with the channel, consider becoming a channel member. There are many benefits to channel membership, including access to our Discord, exclusive deck tech and strategy videos, and the opportunity to help create channel content. I want to sincerely thank all our channel members, as I truly couldn't do this without your support. You guys rock. Go Commando.
Whoa, folks. So some big news coming out of New Zealand about an hour ago or so. Chane took a hit. LSS decided to do something about it. So today I'm covering that announcement, and I don't know, we'll talk about it and see where we're going. It's definitely a hot take video. Hey folks, thanks for tuning in. Like I said, very much a hot take type video because it just happened, but this is major news. So they had they put up an article a little bit ago. Seeds of Agony's gone, Duskblade's gone. Let's go ahead and run through it all, of course. See, this is my hot take. I didn't even plan there. There we go. Bye. All right. So a lot of words here, but what it says is that over the course of Road to Nationals and reaffirmed by what happened at the Calling, Chane has clearly emerged as the best performing hero in CC. And they basically go on and say, even though he can be beat, which he was, even though he can be beat, he produces a lot of NPE type experiences. So, yeah, I mean, Unhallowed Rites is another card we're watching. So they say, we believe that removing Seeds of Agony from CC will be positive for the tournament experience, while not just completely eliminating Chane. They say Unhallowed Rites is another card we're watching closely. No surprise there. The ability to recur Hell from Beyond, right? So interesting note here. So obviously skipping topics a little bit, but this last paragraph is actually pretty important, right? So the last Blitz season was Skirmish 2 that ran soon after Monarch. So during that season, Chane was basically underplayed because nobody figured him. And I don't mean underplayed, underperforming because nobody figured him out yet. Since then, players have figured him out. With Skirmish 3 season starting in November, we believe that removing Seeds from the Blitz format will support a more positive player experience. So what that says is that starting in November, we get another Skirmish season. That's pretty cool, right? So just a little side note from that. Which I'm excited about. I'd want to see, because we've had a lot of new players get in the last couple months, and they'll be like, oh, how come nobody plays Blitz? It's like, well, because nobody cares about Blitz right now because everything's CC. Back to Blitz, baby. Let's see if Aria can get herself banned too. Why now? Tails might fix it. Good question. I think that's what surprised. I do think that's God. The way they do this is so good, right? Like they actually address stuff instead of just being like, hey, overperforming band. Anyway, so yes, while we expect TOA, ELE to be effective at combating Chane's primary game plan by slowing him down, we expect him to remain a big part of the metagame. And basically they're prepping for Nationals. They want to give players as much time to prep for Nationals, and we feel the options are to act now or wait. So they're choosing to act now. I think it's a completely reasonable answer on timing, because, yeah, I mean, it makes complete sense. If they waited, then they'd have to wait a lot longer. So it makes sense. How did this seed grow? Oh, so witty. So you go through you guys can read it. I don't need to sit and read it to you. But basically what they said is the lesson for us is we put too much focus on balancing Chane for booster draft during development at the cost of constructed play. That's a very interesting statement, right? They wanted let's go back on the Wayback Machine. I mean, in the very beginnings of Flesh and Blood, they talked about how they very much cared about the sealed or the limited experience. They very much cared about the limited experience. That's something they focus on. I think we've seen that overall. So yeah, I mean, basically what they're saying is that didn't get the time. He didn't get, not necessarily the time, but he didn't get the play testing that they wanted. Why ban cards when there's Living Legend? Also a good question. The purpose of having Living Legend policy isn't to act only as a safety valve. It's primarily supposed to role of honor. Role of dishonor, I guess. To that end, we won't view Living Legends as something that will eventually clean up the mess. Cool. Without Seeds of Agony, we expect Chane to continue his march toward Living Legend status. I mean, maybe. I don't know. So, yeah, and then let's finish that, and then we can go into the discussion, right? So, next is Duskblade. So I'm going to read this word for word. Duskblade. We made a mistake. The card was added to ELE late in development. It's not part of the core elemental theme of the set for its flavor. It was a callback to the Light versus Shadow War, essentially being the opposite of Dawnblade, which, I mean, I think everybody got that one. Unfortunately, Duskblade was not subjected to the CC testing process it should have been, particularly being a weapon that starts in play and influences every turn. Duskblade invalidates control strategies in CC, where over the course of a long game, it reliably accumulates upwards of 10 counters. So, Duskblade is banned in CC, but not Blitz. The logic there basically being that Blitz is kind of combo-y heavy anyway, and they don't. I mean, it's faster, right? So it's not gonna get to 10 in Blitz very often, and if it does, that's kind of on you, bro, right? So, I think that's reasonable. I mean, try it and play it, and they can watch it. We apologize and feel embarrassed for this mistake and are taking learnings from it to better improve our development process. I mean, the reason they're saying that is banning a card before it's even legal is interesting, right? I mean, I think the bigger thing here is, without trying to be I think what they're doing, so let's be very clear and start with the positive, right? What they've done here is they laid out the article, great. They basically said, here's the problem statement, here's what's wrong, here's what we're doing, and here's how we're going to fix it in the future. I don't know what more, at work, we do what's called a post-mortem. When something goes wrong, we do a post-mortem, we pull it down, we say, here's what happened, here's how we screwed up, here's how, no one's in trouble, right? But let's figure out what happened, how to fix it, and make sure this doesn't ever happen again. Those are the goals, and that's what these guys are doing. I mean, they're... Right? I mean, good job. The take back here, though, is they're basically admitting that they didn't play test this card, right? So, I mean, that's I don't think I'm really reaching there. That's pretty much what they're saying, is that they didn't play test this card. So, what else hasn't been play tested in the past that maybe just never ended up being a problem? I mean, I'd say 9 times out of 10, stuff ends up skewing to the bad side, right? So then you would never know, or not bad, but not powerful side. And if it's not powerful efficient, it doesn't rise to the top, right? So you only have to worry about the problems that rise to the top. So how many problems have sunk to the bottom of the glass? How many bad seeds, or whatever metaphor insert, I don't know. This is a hot take. I don't know. Whatever metaphor you want to use. Anyway, so that's that. Banned and restricted announcement. Yeah. So Seeds is banned and Duskblade is banned. So what do we make of that? I think Chane really struggles without Seeds. I mean, I'm not saying to be very, very clear here to all the people who, just go ahead and smash the dislike button now. You probably already did. It's fine. I don't think I'd have banned Seeds. I think there's I probably would have banned Riftbind or something like that before I banned Seeds, right? So, I don't, because taking away, I don't mind the Runeblade or the Arcane damage pings. That's what Runeblade's supposed to do, right? I think I wouldn't have banned Seeds, but I think Chane's gonna really struggle without Seeds, because there's plenty of other non-attacks he can play. Mavrian Skies gives Go Again. You can play the red version of that. You can do all sorts of stuff, but they're not having Blood Debt. I don't know that Chane, even removing the fact that Tales of Aria comes out in, 4 days, even removing that, I don't know that Chane can float without Seeds. So, I don't know. I don't really care, because, I'm not really affected by it is what I mean, but, that kind of sucks. And then the Duskblade thing, to be clear, I think is the right answer. Like, I think when most of us looked at Duskblade, we're like, what? So yeah. Yeah, I have no problem with Duskblade either. But if you pulled a Duskblade over the weekend, like, you're pretty bummed out because you're like, yeah, I found that, like, I got my good pull. And so, I mean, you can still play it in Blitz. Let's be very clear, you can play it in Blitz. But, there was somebody on the PDX page, they're like, I pulled a foil Duskblade. And, like, you could tell they were going to put it on eBay. I hope somebody bought it already. And I hope you didn't. I hope you weren't the one that bought it. I'm just speculating here, right? So, hey folks, sorry for the break. Something I thought of real quick though while I was doing the editing for this video. And yes, we can put on the tinfoil hat instead of the happy puppy hat. But I think the reason, so the arguments that they made on why Duskblade may not be a problem in Blitz, I think are perfectly solid. Like, I think they're perfectly solid arguments. However, I think the reason they're not banning it in Blitz is purely political, that we talked about with not wanting to have Duskblade be a dead pack, right? I think that's they didn't want to have to deal with the political fallout of people opening cards that were already banned. So I'm pretty confident that they're, again, conspiracy theory, tinfoil hat time, right? But I think I'm onto something there. Like, I think it's highly likely that they didn't want to have to deal with that negative press, so that way they can be like, no, it's okay. You can still play it in Blitz. You can still play it in Blitz, right? So instead of just banning the card outright for all formats, they're like, tell you what, we're gonna, give them the Blitz seed, and then we'll, deal with it later. We'll deal with it later, but we don't want people opening dead packs. So again, is it really that big of a deal? No, I don't think so. But I do think that's probably part of it here. So anyway, just my tinfoil hat time. But I mean, that's not pretty much it. Like, I kind of wanted to, I don't know. Let's talk. We got time. I was supposed to shoot another cast tonight. I was going to do another one, and here we are. This is kind of a big deal, right? Like, I'm trying to figure out how much of a big deal it is or isn't, right? Like, the fact that I think the thing that's catching me here is, like, in basically both cases, again, the way that they did this was awesome. But in that, basically what they said was that both of them weren't tested in the right environment. So, like, if they were putting let's apply, the Chane argument was we focused so much on making sure he was balanced within his own set. So, like, how much of that, like, I know a lot of people, myself included, are really concerned about Frostbite tokens. So is that a problem that we're going to run into in the new set, right? Because, well, we focused so much on this, we didn't realize how impactful control was going to be to, we didn't realize how impactful ice control was going to be to somebody who couldn't drop 8 unblockable Arcane damage. I mean, I'm just spitballing here, right? But I think it's a reasonable question to ask. I mean, obviously we'll see over time. And then the other, it is kind of a bummer that Chane isn't going to get, like, Living Legend out. I think it's actually, I do think it's a really, really smart move on their part, actually, I think it's a really smart move on their part to preemptively get him off, because that's what it would have become is, okay, I mean, that's what basically everybody was saying is, hey, play the snot out of Chane so we can get the effort to go away. I mean, that's what 75% of the community was saying, right? It's like, just play him and he'll go away. And, like, if that's not what they want the list to be, then what they did is the right thing to do. And I don't think anybody's questioning what the right thing to do or not. I think we're questioning more kind of how it happened in the first place. I mean, I think I'm questioning a little the Seeds thing. Like, that's weird. I think Seeds being banned is weird. There's probably other cards I would have done, but I'm sure they know what they're doing, right? Although, the Duskblade, maybe they didn't know what they were doing. I guess, I don't know. The next part of this is, obviously the Fab world is a buzz about it, and a lot of people are strutting their stuff right now. It's like, hey, remember all you Chane players who were telling us that the meta was balanced and Chane wasn't good? It was just you needed to get good. Yeah. Remember that cast that I mathematically showed that Chane was overweight based on the data coming out of Las Vegas, and it got a whole bunch of dislikes by Chane fanboys. Yeah. I mean, sometimes like there were a bunch of fanboys who would protect him at any cost and would cite whatever they could, and you guys, keep playing him, please do. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to wrap my head around this still. I mean, I think the biggest part is it was largely unexpected. Doesn't mean it wasn't welcome though, right? I mean, I do think the Duskblade thing's kind of a bummer from on the surface, right? I think it's a bummer from like a what it is point. Like now, if you open Duskblade, you're gonna be like, "Aw," right? That said, I think it was the right thing to do, but it doesn't make it, anyway, I think you guys know what I'm saying. So let me know what you guys are thinking about this. I know everyone's still wrapping their head around it and trying to get it all figured out. In 24 hours, we may have a whole bunch of different news and stuff like that, and this is obviously coming out of the gate really fast. But yeah, we'll see where Chane ends up. I don't think he's playable in Blitz for sure. I don't know. I don't know what Chane does, but hopefully somebody can come up with something. But I think at this point, like the debate was like, do you play Chane or do you go with Briar anyway? Because like Chane was going to get some serious pressure in ELE, and I think Briar was kind of looking better than him maybe. With Duskblade, Chane was clearly going to be better with Duskblade though, so that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, but I don't know. I think a lot of people can move from Chane to Briar pretty easily. Briar plays different kind of, but she's still a lot of gas. I think it's going to appeal to a lot of the same people. They can use most of their equipment. So I think a lot of people have a place to go that's new and exciting anyway. So I think it's going to be okay. All right, I think it's going to be okay. Anyway, thank you, LSS. This was really good. Again, you continue to manage your community side of things very, very, very well. That statement was not a shot at any of your other things. I'm just saying congratulations. Thank you for managing your community side as well as you do. That's a better way to say it. Anyway, thanks folks for joining. Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments. Am I completely wrong? I know, my head's everywhere trying to think about what everything's going. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for putting up with my, everywhere, my crazy brain today. And go Commando.